Okay, we finna talk about it. Let y'all get a chance to get up in here. What's up, Diddy? Drop a cash out. You the first one on the line. Drop a cash out. The nature well. Yep. Everybody chances. Slide on in here. Always important information on the low low. Hey, yo, what's up, all that matter? Hey, I got your text. I really didn't get a chance to read it because I was still driving down this little two lane. I couldn't just get it. Hi, Shy Benny. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. You being safe out there? Everything good? Fred North. What's up, brother? Denitra Well, drop your cash app. You the first person in the line. Drop your cash app. Lunch on the Haven. Dinner on the Haven. How y'all doing today? Yeah, I know y'all saw the title of the video, and cause you subscribe to me, you seen that notification, but more likely you subscribe to some more people that do this, and you also seen a notification and probably watched the video like I did about transportation, cause that's what we doing. And the video, good video. It was what's up, Tanner? Okay, well there it is. His message was about insurance. I ain't even get to read it yet. Whatever, right on time then. All my matter. Hey, but like I said, I just kind of watched the video. You know what I'm saying? Talking about it was more or less pertaining to transportation of cars, but in freight market and the freight industry, all this stuff regulated some kind of way, whether you transport cars or freight or what, it's still regulated basically the same way, unless you move housing furniture or something. So I wanted to come and clarify a little bit about something that was said. And if you look at the thumbnail on this video, you'll notice it's a company snapshot from the FMCSA website of Landstar Global. All right, let me screenshot that. Got your cash out. We'll do it. You say finally. You were finally first. Yeah, you was first. Okay, you might have inside information or something. But anyway, all right. First and foremost, um, I like to explain a surety bond, and that would be required of someone that has a broker's authority, not to be confused with a carrier authority. So I got to explain the difference in the two first before I break that down. The broker, you can say a lot of things, you call them good, bad, they are necessary evil, but the best way I can describe a broker is a middleman. And if you ever been in the occupation of moving stuff, whether it be legal or illegal, you'll be considered a broker because you the go between the person that wants it moved and the people that actually move it. Thumbs up if you know that. Also, you can give me a thumbs up if you know that a broker cannot move freight. A broker cannot pull freight, cars, or none of that because it ain't that kind of authority. It's the authority to have leeway with between the company that need it or the customer that need it moved and the person that wants it moved and everywhere in between, all that there. And I think a part of that video was slightly misleading, just in the fact a snapshot was put up of a safer, snapshot of a company, and it said authorized broker, authorized for property. It had all the listings of things that they can broker, and this is a big part of what's going on out here because there's a lot of misinformation being given. You know what I'm saying? It's pertaining to, because if you look at the screenshot or the thumbnail that I put up there, it was Landstar. And Landstar has multiple MC numbers. But in order to do what they do, broker loads and carry loads at the same time, they have one MC that is in particular that says authorized as a broker and a carrier. So, common sense will say If you're not authorized as a broker and a carrier, you're just authorized as a broker, you're not carrying the load. Thumbs up if you understand that. Thumbs up if you understand if you've ever done this job and you've incurred a damage claim that the broker ain't responsible for that. For real, you're gonna pay that. Your insurance will take a hit, or if it's below your deductible, you'll come out and pay it cash. I've had to do it before for owner operators and things, and I recoup the money, I sell them and everything. But one thing that was said in that video is pertaining to the customer, as far as going to look on the FMCSA website and supposedly doing your due diligence by vetting the company that you're trying to get to move whatever needs to be moved. You go on there and you vet the broker. Okay, that's good. You want to make sure the broker is authorized and he has leeway to broker loads. That's good. But you're missing a really big part of the whole thing. You call and talk to the broker. They say, hey, I can get it moved. You look them up. You see that they got an surety bond. A surety bond. They are bonded and everything. They look good, don't it? Okay, so you like they're active, they're bonded. We're good. These the people I call and prepaid my money to get this stuff moved. Same thing if you're moving a house. One of my owner operators almost lost all their stuff because the difference between a broker and a carrier and who is really responsible. That's why I'm bringing you this, because I don't want you to be misinformed. Happens too easy, happens too much. Okay, now when you get off the phone with that broker's next step is to either contact a carrier that's in their book of business and find a way to get your stuff moved. And at that point, they impart a fee on that, which is crazy because usually they charge you 2 times. You feel me? Like I had an incident where a partner of mine moved, and the broker, he didn't even know it was a broker. He thought the moving company was the broker because the broker had the company name as something, something, something moving company. But he was just a broker, and he finds other moving companies to do the work. And that's where the misconception, the miscommunication, almost the loss of an entire load of stuff happens. Because we're not informed that the person we're talking to, even though their business says we do this, they're not the people that do this. So if something happens, okay, well, the broker got a bond. If something happens, I'm covered. Now we finna get down in the meat and potatoes. Now, okay, click, hey, thumbs up. Let me get these chats going because I ain't even looking at what's going on. Thumbs up if you know that a bond is required by more than likely the state that you're in to become a broker. Why? A bond is put in place to protect the customer, right? What's up, about life? Explain this surety bond and what you need to know about that and how the fact that the broker really, I'm gonna get to it. But anyway, let's go. All right. So a surety bond, by the layman that are not familiar with the logistics or not familiar with the transportation industry, just like you might not be familiar with the contractor you're gonna use to build your house, they're bonded. So just in case they don't meet the regulations of the state, or it becomes a product where they did not provide the proper service, they will be held liable. Now, I gotta explain assured bond and why it's not the same of insurance and why their broker ain't gonna be responsible. Grits and grocery, baby. Healing hard. What's up with you, baby? All right, let me explain something to y'all. Let's go over a surety bond. What is a surety bond? Okay, a surety bond is a required document, a required guarantee in place that is regulated by the state and provided by a bond company to ensure that if something happens and you do not fulfill the obligations that are set forth in the parameters of whatever you're doing, as far as brokering, billing houses, or whatever, that the individual customer can make a claim against your bond. But how many of y'all know that that is the absolute least possible thing that's going to happen to a broker? So let's explain this surety bond. First of all, it is not insurance. It is a bond that's not made with you. It's a bond that's made between the state, the principal. So let's go over the people in play. It's a three-part thing. It's three people in play. Okay. On a surety bond, you have the principal suspect or the principal subject. I mean, that person will be the person that has the brokerage. They are being obligated to do their job correctly. And by being obligated, they have to put up a surety bond. Let me tell you something about a surety bond. Anybody can get one. Anybody can get one. Let me say that again. Anybody can get one because there's a difference between a bond and a letter of credit. And most states don't require a letter of credit. That's why no brokers have a letter of credit. Okay, so you got the principal, you got the obligee, which is the state that you're in. They obligating you to be bonded, and you have the bonding company. Okay, for the amount that you're going to be bonded for as required by your state, they require a certain amount. There's no credit involved. First of all, you ain't got to have no type of credit. You don't have to demonstrate a good business savvy. You don't even have to demonstrate that you know what you're doing at all. You can get a bond for about 1 to 3% a year of what it costs. So let's just say I'm bonded for $75,000. This number right here is just a number. Listen to me. It's just a number. I'm bonded for $75,000. So what does that mean to the actual customer that has incurred a problem? In most cases, absolutely nothing. Not a thing. And I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, I know, man. Danny B, I don't know, they ain't liking the information. I don't know, but I'm going to give it to y'all anyway because I feel like you should be aware because you're in this business. But okay. All right. Now, when you talk about a surety bond and the difference between a bond and insurance, this is where the carrier comes in. So, we established that to be a broker, you need a surety bond that really doesn't mean much to the customer. It means everything to the state because it's a requirement and it puts a check in the balance on you going way off base. Like way off base. Like you really messed up. You know what I'm saying? But if you ever filled out a carrier packet, watch me now. If you have ever filled out a carrier packet, there's something in there called a carrier broker agreement. Thumbs up if you ever heard of a carrier broker agreement. So that's where the stuff get real. And I don't care who they talking to. I don't care. But that's where it get real at. Upon looking at the average carrier broker agreement, pretty much the standard agreement, you are agreeing to do everything in the way it's said to be done by regulation as the carrier from point A to point B, and you are also signing off on the broker's liability on the load once it's on your truck. So, by you even calling and getting that load and you put it on your truck, that load technically is not the responsibility of that broker any longer. He just has to oversee what's going on and make sure it's done. That's why they do so many check calls to make sure. But the whole thing was, hey, you gotta vet these people. You gotta check. You gotta go on FMCSA and check this broker out. Well, little do you know, You call this broker company, says such and such freight movers. They don't really move freight. You go online like somebody told you do, check their stuff. You see they're a broker, and you got all the confidence in the world that your property is insured. You know how this transportation thing go. Be like, man, my car gonna ride on the back of this trailer. Got $100,000 worth of coverage on it. Woo wee. That ain't the broker that you just vetted. That's not his coverage, because he more than likely has zero insurance or general liability at the least. This is why certain individuals, as they see they can't make a profit and it's going downhill, they go for the very low overhead of a brokerage. You know, low overhead. I wonder who be talking about low overhead. I wonder. But anyway, as a result, you take carrier off the MC, put broker on the MC. Now you don't have the expense of insurance of driving. You don't have the risk factor involved. You don't have that liability every month to pay that. But what happens to the customer? What happens to that customer that put that Mercedes on the back of your trailer and something happened? It could be a total loss. Get what? You just signed a paper that relieves the brokerage of all liability. Because more than likely, they ain't got no insurance anyway. They just got a bond to do steady business, and that's the whole trick of the game. Because like that bond, it ain't like somebody watching you. That's why they double broker stuff so much. Why people open brokerage without a real customer base and basically piggyback off loads that have been dumped in the system and regurgitate them on the load board for a lower price and skim money off loads. Basically rob the carrier. But I really want to just make a point to emphasize that the insurance that the carrier carries, as far as cargo insurance, will be the policy that is going to cover whatever is being carried. Whatever the broker has, doesn't have, qualifications, and all that, it's going to be irrelevant because you're thinking that this broker is doing the whole thing. That's why he charges you to first broker the load, an initial fee for doing his job, and then he comes with another fee that is actually the work for the job. He puts that money together, put it in his pocket. That might be $1,000, and then he posts that load on a board for $700 or $500, and you really don't know who got your car. And that was one of those things that like it was emphasized that there isn't tracking on this stuff, these cars, these loads. Yeah, they can be if you want it to be. If you're dealing directly with the carrier, sure, you can have tracking. And if you're dealing with a broker, you still can have tracking because everybody can be in the communication. I got macro point, I got that truck, whatever, whatever. I got every kind of tracking app that all these brokers like to use. Semi and CD and non-CD. I got all them tracking apps on my phone. So when I pick up a certain load from certain people, they can track this load. They know where I'm at. It ain't no mystery. They know exactly where I am. So with that being said, I want to alleviate the misconception that a broker can carry some and a carrier can broker some because it's two different things. But if you want to do both, you can. You can get a carrier and broker authority at the same time. And like I said, it's one of those things where it's not the same. Being a carrier, being a broker, we know that's not the same. But the liability of whatever happens will hit the carrier. The broker gonna ease off after he get through calling the carrier and expressing the fact that, hey, there's a damage claim on this right here, and we getting you to such and such a day, maybe a week or so to answer this about this damage claim, see what you're going to do about it, call your insurance company, or whatever you got to do, because at the end of the day, you signed a carrier broker agreement relieving them of all liability once you put it on your truck. That's your car. And if it flip off, you're going to buy it. It really will be your car. But the customer at the end of the day thinking broker A that got all this money for me is really handling all this. No, no, they're not. So, what I'm saying? With that being said, it's a point to be made that Sometimes you'll see people out here doing this, and they'll basically get put in a almost a trap type situation where they done did business in a certain way for so long that it's such a big deficit, and they feel like they know the industry. Well, why not just become a broker? Get what? It's one of those things because it's a trade off. It's a trade off. You're only gonna make as much money as you are good enough to make. You only gonna make the money that's good enough to be made if you can get this stuff moving. You'll learn there's just like a carrier looking on the load board for a load. That broker that's steady posting the load, and he's not the only one that has it. That's why you see the load posted a bunch of different companies, same load, might be different prices, but same load. He'll put that up there and hope for the best. But you know it is. Dropping them prices, and then if you're especially in a competitive market, you're not gonna get nothing moved. So you gotta be fair. But at the end of the day, the problem is the same. If you're a carrier, you need freight, which means you need custom. If you're a broker, you need customer freight and trucks. You feel me? So like I said, in the end, I just want to clarify who's responsible for what and how it makes a very large difference in the grand scheme of things of what's going to happen if something happens. We ain't gonna even talk about the customer. I'm gonna talk about the carrier because at the end of the day, if something happens, I don't care who brokered that load. Them folks not gonna pay that. And the truth of the matter is that bond, somebody can file on the bond and get recompense, you know what I'm saying, in the end. But that's a long drawn out, very legal process when the broker's basically gonna call the carrier and be like, man, you broke that stuff, you gotta pay, and send him a bill. You know what I'm saying? And use that money to actually pay for whatever it was, you know what I'm saying, that got broke. Sometimes they may have to reimburse the shipping charges. So, you know what I'm saying? You might not even get paid for the load. You should, but you might not. Depending on the severity of the thing. You might be drove 3,000 miles, don't get a dime. But that broker still made something. And you know what I'm saying? At the same time, I said once, I said again, a lot of times people start these type of businesses just to really stop the bleed. It pop up in their head that, hey man, I could be a broker and I don't have to buy diesel no more. Hey man, I could be a broker. I ain't gotta rent no trucks no more. I ain't gotta buy. I ain't gotta have not one truck. I could be a broker loads and shit, everything be Gucci. And I really stand to make a profit because my overhead though. Oh man, who the hell be talking about low overhead? Hold up, wait a minute. Who be? Wait a minute. It's somebody out here on YouTube. His name HT Logistics. And there's another guy out here on YouTube. They call him the Hot Shot Haven. There's another guy out here they call Chase and Andrew. There's another guy out here. There's a bunch of guys out here that let you know the key to winning is not to spend all the money and keep some. Well, obviously you would say, okay, but brokers, I ain't got no expenses. I ain't got no expenses. Then you'll understand another thing about a broker. There's a high tax liability. Yep. You might not have to pay this high insurance on demand like that. But the fact that you want to make money and you really ain't incurring any expenses leads to a lack of write-offs at the end of the year. So you might make a lot of money. You might be able to turn it into writing it off on a building or something. Get your office together, and you got to do something like that every year. Buy you some computers and stuff, and try and make it make sense to Uncle Sam. That what you got to try and do that because with running a high shot company as a carrier and running it profitable, the basic expenses of running this business will keep you out of tax trouble. I said that in another video. It'll keep you out of tax trouble because simple fact, this business has so many expenses that the liability on the tax side, it really kind of go out the window with some good accounting. Good accounting. But if you get to the point where you really can't make the numbers make sense, you turning a loss most of the time, which ain't always a bad thing. You always turning a loss, you know what I'm saying, and really threatening really for closure of the business, you know what I'm saying? That It would be better to alleviate some of the liabilities by not having to pay insurance, really not being responsible for what go on the truck once that carrier broker agreement is signed. You really out of there. Legally, most cases, you ain't responsible for what the carrier did. And the crazy thing about it, the customer still sitting over there thinking, hey, brokerage company A is handling this from A to B. Those guys are great. And you giving them phone call, reassuring them that it's going in place. Hey, the driver's here now. And these people on the phone never get the impression that you're not the one running it. And that's fine, as long as don't nothing bad happen. But like I said, in the event of something happening, who pays for that? Who pays for that? Not the broker. Broker finna beat the carrier back out. Sure is. Sure is. Sure is. So, that's why in the carrier contracts and agreement, a lot of times you have stipulations about detention, being late, damages, all that stuff right there. You signed on the dotted line and you waiting on your rate con. You just signed for that piece of equipment, whatever it is, and it's your responsibility regardless of who brokered it. Because you in possession of it. That's why on COD, stuff like that, and loads in general, until you sign that paper, especially if it got to be unloaded, it ain't coming off until you sign that paper. Till you sign that bill of lading and say you received this, no damage and no shortage, in good order, you're not getting this off this trailer because it belonged to me. Did y'all get that out of that? That once you're a carrier and you get that load from that broker, you put it on your truck, that load belongs to you in its entirety. When you go back and look at the broker, he's just the middleman that put y'all together, and he has an important job. It's a good job, but at the same time, he ain't liable. He's not liable. He passed the buck on to you before you even got the load. When you signed the rate confirmation, the carrier broker agreement, all that, he already passed the buck and set it on your back. Regardless, it don't matter. And the brokerage, to protect their bond, they will file an insurance claim against your company and present that carrier broker agreement to the insurance company to show that you at fault and you were responsible at the time of the incident. You feel me? You know, like crazy thing about it all is that this ain't common. This ain't common knowledge. Surety bond, that's a mystery to most people. One more time. That surety bond is not insurance. A person that broker and don't have a broker and carry MC really can't even drive that truck. A person that have a carry MC really can't broker that load, because the whole thing about it is you're sitting there as a broker holding both sides. You're in charge of holding the money until it has to be paid, and you as a brokerage may pay them in 30 more days. You cash flowing with all these people money that don't belong to you. See what I'm saying? You got to be good with money. That's why they make you get a bond, in case you do some real unscrupulous stuff and you run off with the money. They ain't worried about the load. They worry about the money. The surety bond is to protect the money. It ain't really about the load, because the insurance that the carrier got is for the load. The surety bond is for the transaction. Hold up now, did I give you one just then? Surety bond is based on the transaction of the business that's taking place, that has to be in line with the state regulations. State regulation ain't never told the broker that they had to pay you such and such percentage of the load and not keep every damn much that they can. State regulation ain't say if they fall off the trailer and it's on another carrier's truck, it's your responsibility. Bond don't say that. Bond say if you break these state rules about how you supposed to be conducting business as a brokerage, and a customer suffers or a carrier suffers, they can file on your bond. But how many times have you ever seen, like I had a blowout? I had a blowout. How many times you ever seen a broker say, hey man, I'm going to send you money for a tie? Hey man, you broke down on the side of the road, I'm going to send you some money for a record. You never seen that, ain't gonna see it. Because most of them people running on shoestring budget anyway, and they just trying to take as much as they can from the industry without really doing that. And that's game. That's why this is a over $70 billion industry, because there are so many people that make money through trucking ain't even got a truck. Some of that $70 billion is rental parking spaces. There's a lot of money in trucking. But you need to know where you stand as far as your carrier authority, your broker authority, who, as far as what this load means to you once it gets on this truck. This load on this truck, until they sign for it at this power plant, they ain't getting nothing I got on this trailer, because until they sign for it, or until they sign for it, it belongs to me. It is riding on my policy right now. And a lot of brokers will tell you, hey man, we need to be a certificate holder. So that's another level of proof that, hey, we broke a deal, but we ain't had nothing to do with the rest of it. We ain't had nothing to do with the rest of it. It's that guy that got that truck. It's the guy that has the truck. He's got the load on there. Here's a piece of paper saying that he agreed that whatever happened is his fault, and whatever happened, it ain't my fault. And the only thing I got a responsibility to do is try and make both sides happy, whether that be the customer recouping their money on a damage claim by the broker charging the carrier. The broker ain't in this thing for to do no favors. Really ain't in this thing to help nobody. It really ain't in this thing to do nothing but make a profit and hope he can take as much money as possible off your load, and you will agree to it because you don't know no better. Last thing I'm gonna say, most people, and not all of them, because I know some people that was in trucking a long time, they started brokerage and they are good. They good. They fair with their rate. I'm talking about super fair with their rates. They really know trucking. They don't half-ass no trucking. They really know trucking because they've been out there running semis and stuff a year. They know the ELD, they know the clock, they know what really can be done. If a carrier is telling them they can do something that ain't possible, they know, because that's gonna keep their customer relationships good, because everything always prompted on time. To the point where they know in their mind that I got this load running from Mississippi to New Mexico. It's not gonna be there tomorrow unless it's a team run, and no one can tell you, if they're not running a team, that it's gonna be there. You know this. So that makes a good relationship where everybody got a little leeway, time to do what they need to do. You to push the customer back, because you know you might not get it moved day one. You customer come to you with a load need to be moved, and it's Monday, and you tell them, hey, I'm gonna get it moved quickly as possible. No later than Friday, I have it picked up. Got 5 days to call the people you know, see if somebody in the area want to carry. May or may not be. Next thing you'll do is like I say, post that load on the board so people in the area can see it, and they can see if they want to carry it and stuff like that. But I would say this: in the fine print of it all, fine print of it all, just know that in all that stuff that you're doing and got going on with the broker, picking it up, running it, putting it down, getting the sign, getting paid. Hey, that is Chris. All my amount said the most honored broker I met today is Chris Ortman. Shout out Chris Ortman, whoever and wherever you may be. I appreciate you for keeping it 100. Because like I say, I said in other videos, there's companies out there, MASTON, you know what I'm saying? They program make a standard fee. And if they move a full, they get this. If they move a partial, they get this. And it keep it real fair, and it make a lot of people want to use them. Hint, hint, for somebody trying to grow a brokerage. You can't take all the money. Show can't make all the money. So get what? You're going to have to be fair to make this thing do what it got to do. You have to be fair. And you know, a lot of people feel like, you know, okay, I'm gonna get a broker MC. I might have had a carry MC, and what I'm gonna do is basically what they call in federal court self-dealing. I'm gonna do that, and then everything gonna be cool, because not only am I gonna broker the load, I'm gonna carry the load, and that's cool. I will say this though, if you're gonna do that at the same time, unless you got hellfire indemnity, or you got some real cash flow and a actual letter of credit to go with your surety bond, I would advise you split that up and don't try and run that under the same MC. Liability purpose. I might tell y'all about that later. It's a problem with that. But at the same time, once you go online and look on the Safer website, punch in this DOTMC number, if it says carrier, you know you talking to the person that's actually gonna move this stuff. For the most part. If it says broker, you know you dealing with the middleman, and there's really no telling whose truck your car may end up on or your freight may end up on. Just luck of the draw. They might have a real live carrier in the area that can do it, or they may have something put it on the load board. But at the end of the day, long as the carrier got the amount of insurance to cover the broker butt, so he could give the customer some assurance on what they got going on, anybody can pull it. Anybody can pull it. Anybody gonna have it, and there it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it one of them things where I don't want anybody to get confused and think that because a company has a bond that this is insurance. It's not insurance. No, that's strictly agreement between them, the state, and the surety company that they're gonna follow the regulations and they're gonna finish work that was supposed to be finished. And if it's any type of complaints or legal action to be had, your bond is there. They will deduct from it the damages plus the court costs and fees associated with it and charge it back to the actual principal, which is the person with the bond. They'll charge it back to them, you know. But like I said, brokering freight and carrying freight are two different things. If you have a combination of both on an MC number, you can do both. You legally can do some kind of self-dealing. That's legally, you know what I'm saying? But most people ain't gonna be able to pull both of them off because either they're real good at brokering or they're real good at trucking most of the time. Then you got a person that might be really good at trucking and they go into brokering and then they're a cold broker. They really good because they know what the truckers really want to get for these loads versus what they gonna charge the customer to do the load, and that makes it so in between they can keep a little bit and the carrier is happy putting whatever is worth on their trailer, taking a risk on their insurance, pulling it low, and it be worth it. So at the end of the day, like I said, you got to know the differences. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody getting misconstrued like these brokers really got your best interest at heart. At the end of the day, them folks are not responsible for whatever goes on out here on the road. That load was ran through them, not by them. And when you call the broker back, since that's who you probably called and said they can move this stuff for you and get it moved, most time they'll be on the phone and say, yeah, we can move that. Knowing good and well they ain't got no truck. We can move that. We ain't moving nothing. We moving it. Us just ain't moving nothing. We moving it. Our insurance on it. You know what I'm saying? Your equipment get ran down running this stuff. Your brakes getting done going out. Your oil chain coming up. Your fuel filters coming up. Meanwhile, the broker sitting at home and basically trying to quarterback the situation to the best of his ability, make sure nothing happens just to keep the customer satisfied. But at the end of the day, he is not at risk in that load because he just made you sign your life away with the carrier broker agreement. That's why I say in my life sometimes I'm signing for stuff at the shipper as it's going out. Oh man, sign your life away. Sign your life away. Sign your life because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You signing a binding agreement that says whatever happens is on you, not me. Broker like, mm-mm. I just got you the job. You carrying it. I ain't responsible for none of that. What happens after that, which is pretty much correct. But at the same time, we don't want to misconstrue the fact of a carrier and a broker. A carrier and a broker. The broker, he on chill mode. He got to get it moved, but he ain't moving it. After he get that Raycon back that you to sign, and you go pick that up. That man been so far on to the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things he got to do today, period. He's not worried about you no more because he know if you mess up, that's on you. That's on you. It ain't gonna be on the broker. It ain't gonna be nobody. It gonna be on you. Because the broker ain't finna hold up for nothing. You can barely get detention pay out of some of them. You can barely get a truck order non-use out of some of them. To the point where these folks ain't holding up for no damages. They barely want to pay you when they lied to you and had you picking up something you know they know you couldn't carry. It was a possibility. They were lying to you then. And when you pull over there, they want to send you $40, $50 for a truck order. Now I need $300. Where Chicago came in? Where that last truck order none you were about 45 minutes from the house where you had went over there the other day. $300 just for coming over there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's a good broker for holding up for it because we asked for four. We wanted four. The low 800. We want half of the money just for coming over there on lie. Based upon some, dishonest stuff that went down and the dimensions that the broker had that he wouldn't give to the driver, which I was like, I was like, you go over there and that's your low. I understand it, but it's something ain't right about this. This ain't how this go. I done did this 1,000 times. This ain't how this go. But we'll see tomorrow when you pull up what really going on. And it's all legal. Oh, it's all legal, no permits and everything. As soon as you get over there, the dimensions on the thing is 110 by 114 by 50. If y'all know dimensions, you know they go length, width, height. 110, 114, 50. How many of y'all know our trailer ain't but 102 inches wide? How many of y'all know any broker in America that say he moved freight? I ought to know that the trailer is 102 inches wide, 8.5 feet. That's all you put on there. You can't hang off the side unless you got a permit. And if you broke a load or you've ever had to do a permit load, sometimes that don't go down the same day, depending on how many states you got to deal with to get a permit and get everything squared away before you even go pick the load up. Because the shipper is going to want to see your permits because they know this is oversized. And that's why we ask for half the money. That's how we go. If it pay 1,000, I need $500 for coming over here. You can talk me down and we'll be all right. Everything be cool. But whatever the load pay, we need half of it. And if they don't want to do it, we make agreement on a little bit less. It really didn't cost him $300 in a loss to do it, but he could have been doing something else. That's about as far as the broker gonna go about covering anything because it's so minute. There are off chances. It don't happen at all. Yeah, they assume that loss in most cases because how many of y'all know if that load paid $800 to the carrier and we went over there to get it, couldn't get it, and he gave $300 of the money away, and it ain't even got ran. How many of y'all know that load paid way more than $800? Thumbs up. $800 ain't bad for like 200 miles, but understand, he made something, and he's still gonna get it moved, and he's still gonna make something. It was just gonna be short $300. So let's do the math on that. If he's short $300, which I didn't follow the load behind that because really probably the proper thing to do about that is take the $300 loss, take it down off the board for 8 and put it back up there for 650 or 600. Try and get a couple $100 of your money back in that last transaction you boo-booed on. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you got a situation where you really need to know where the buck stops while you out here doing this stuff, man. At the end of the day, the buck stop with the carrier. Most of the time, the broker is pretty insulated through the paperwork that he's going to have you sign before you carry the load, before you get the rate confirmation, before you do any of this stuff. They're going to make you sign over liability on everything you're doing for them. And like I said, in most cases, they want to really be able to point the finger if something happened. They will ask you to send a certificate of insurance listing them as an insurance holder. So at that point in time, it's a piece of paper that's saying, hey, your carrier carried the load for them on that day, and this one trip that you got this stuff on here, whatever happened, We got this stuff, the information right here to go ahead and make this claim. Now, they more than likely won't make the claim to the insurance company, depending on the amount of the damage. They'll get in contact with the carrier first, try to resolve it, forward the money on to the customer so they can be satisfied. And then you got broker that's so sleazy when it comes to a damage claim. Damage claim might be $1,500. They send you a bill for $1,750. Even all through the process of stuff, it's stuff. Man, that's my problem. Insurance is so high. Hey, yeah, insurance is so high. I'm actually gonna get off this live, but I want to leave one very, very, very important thing for those of you all that are going out and actually getting your own authority. Y'all got that in the making. Um, it's about insurance and what can really, really hurt you while you shopping for insurance and about to start this thing, and it sounds counterintuitive. What's that? Calling and getting multiple quotes before you're actually ready to go. Before you got all the equipment, the truck, the trailer, all this stuff right here, because you're trying to put together numbers, it'll dictate that you'll call and inquire about some stuff so you can have some accurate numbers to work with. That is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make in the planning stages of getting ready to launch your authority. Calling every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the insurance industry, going online, steady looking at Progressive website, altering the numbers on this to make it be this, and you think it's gonna go down if you say this, and I want these many mileage restrictions, I only want this much coverage, and you start looking at that number out on that first quote, and you're like, oh, that's kind of high. That's a lot of money on the first time you looked or first time you inquired and got a quote. And so human nature would say, man, I probably could get this. Yeah, absolutely, Tanner. We talked about it on the live. Get that consultation, baby. Get that consultation. That what Healing Heart said. Get that consultation. Now, what's going to happen is you really been proverbially urinating in the wind. Tanner said he made that mistake. Well, we're going to show you what happens with the mistake, because basically you put your information in, you don't have any equipment, you don't have any VIN numbers, all you have is driver's license number, perhaps city and state in there on the application, your company name and everything that you got in there, and you get this quote. And then maybe 3, 4, 5 days later, you get to thinking about it. Be like, what about this other company? I told y'all it ain't about 4 companies that doing it. It's 10,000, 20,000 small insurance companies, but they're owned by basically about 4 companies. So what the problem is going to end up being is every time you call back, inquire, get another quote, the number will rise. I don't care how you augment, what type of equipment you think you're going to have. You change your address and move it out to the country and everything. After that first or second insurance quote, you're going to be looking at every time you put that in, put your social and your EIN and number, all that, it just keep climbing. My insurance agent told me they call that in the industry muddy in the water. Because first of all, I don't mean say it like that, but you playing. If you don't have anything to insure, what's up, Dave Harris? If you don't have any equipment to insure, or you don't have a complete list of equipment to insure and give them VIN numbers on and all that, that's basically an air quote. But that air quote, it taken seriously by the insurance company. And every time you do it, it will escalate and it will never come back down to the first time you looked at it. They keeping up with it. Because like I said, you might have questioned this company, that company, that company. It still went in the database of one of them really big companies that share information. Yeah, Tanner, I had a truck with no trailer the first time. Yeah. But like I said, you wanna actually, the best thing I can tell you to do as far as getting quoted up for insurance is plan for the worst. Be aware of your driving well. Have all your equipment already. I'm talking about already. Have all your equipment already. and call an independent insurance agent, give him all the information, and let him shop the insurance all at once. Because they can go in a database and shop 5 companies, put their offer in for 5 companies, and see what it spits out, and it's only one inquiry. That's one inquiry. Yeah. Well, yeah, you did what we talked about tonight, man. Boy, I be having some good consultation, don't it, bro? Like this some game changing stuff here. So, like I said, with that being said, when you go, like I said, and quote your insurance for real, I'm talking about for real. You got everything. Then you'll get not only a realistic number based upon your risk factor, your equipment, physical damage, how much you want, you'll get a real number to work with. Not only that, but not only will you get a real number to work with, it's probably gonna be the lowest number that you're gonna get. They might shop 5 companies and you have options to pick which one, and which company you're gonna go with, and you'll try and probably pick the lowest one that had the right coverage for you. But like I said, doing that over the course of a week, company for company for company for company. Every day you call somebody else, every day you call somebody else, that number is probably going to jump up for the year about a couple $1,000 for the year, you know. And it's a easily made mistake because you're really trying to learn, you're really trying to inquire, you're trying to see if your money gonna be right for it. So you're like, I need to call and get a quote. Wait, wait, wait. Just wait till you get everything. Then put that in place. Because like I said, there's really no way to get an accurate insurance quote to begin with without all the equipment if you're going to have it covered and listed. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, hey, I'm always be honest about these potholes out here, man. And just on another note, the Forgiatos, if y'all ever get rims or something on your truck, I say that costs you money. It does. It changes your bottom line. You need to have your mind right if you're gonna put them on there, because you're gonna lose a little more fuel. You're gonna burn up brakes faster and all that stuff. But if you perhaps running rims on your truck or something like that, and you're out here pulling weight, and you get an indication that any one of them tires ain't right in any kind of way, and they suspect, you need to be doing some real pre-trips and pro trips. I'm talking about your post-trip, your pre-trip, all that. It need to be intensive. I posted in the community last night a picture of the inside bead of the tire on one of my rims. It started to have bubbles around there where the actual bead on the rim that's covered by the rubber had started to delaminate, and the air was going into the bead of the tire and causing a small balloon right there on the inside of the rim. You feel me? On the inside of the rim. You can't see this walking by the truck and looking down at the tire, look at the brakes. Now on the inside of the rim. Thumbs up if you know that's a blowout in the making. And it was on the front. Mm. Shout out to Forged Billet Wheels. I'm telling you, if you're going to come out here pull weight, you feel like you want to put some rims on it, I ain't telling you how to spend your money, but I'm just be honest with you. It's just like riding super singles. You need some good rims. I ain't talking about no cast aluminum rim. I ain't talking about no cast iron rim, cast nothing. If you're going to put some aftermarket rims on here, ain't no need you being cheap about it. That's the only thing touching the road. Get you some Forged Billet Wheels. And this is why I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna get up out here. We approaching 54 minutes. I'm gonna give y'all about 2-3 more minutes. I'm just tell this story and I'm gonna get up out here. In the last 4 days, I spent $1,800 on Yokohama tires because I saw what was going on during a pre and a post trip with one of the tires. I replaced that tire. It's after having that blowout the other day. Y'all saw me change that tire in about 12 minutes. Yeah, I noticed something about the tire. So I get another tire of the same brand that was on here at first. I ain't gonna even call the brand of the tire. And shit, I left Mississippi and came up through Tennessee. Boom! Like a shotgun went off. Back. Man, let me get out, jump out. This another one now. Change it. Boom, boom, boom. Forged billet wheels. I've had two rear blowouts in probably 3 days at that point, right? Two rear blowouts. I got all the weight at the front of the trailer. It ain't but 3,000 pounds, but all the weight on the front of the trailer. How many of y'all know if you have a rear blowout and you lose pressure and you have weight on the trailer, it's a chance, a really good chance, that when you blow that tire out, that rim is going to hit the ground. How many know that? When you drop air pressure and you have a blowout, a lot of time, that rim is going to hit the ground. I had two of them hit the ground in 3 days with weight on it. I'm talking about, and drove off the side of the road. The last time, I'm going to tell you about that. Yeah, drove up the road, got out, changed and everything. Come put a tire on the rim. Rim ain't bent. Rim ain't cracked. Rim got scratches on it, but the rim's still intact and balanced back up. Ain't no wobbles and shakes. Ain't no cracks. And that's not going to happen with a cast wheel. That is not going to happen with a cast wheel. What is going to happen with a cast wheel, as soon as that weight drops and the two edges of that wheel hit the ground, most time, either it's going to fold or it's going to, since it's cast, just break off. It's be a piece broken off the rim. Tell me why. I'm talking about I was getting like, I'm kind of PO'd about it. So I'm coming through Tennessee. I'm going up to Missouri. I get in Missouri probably about 150, 200 miles in Missouri. Got off 55, jumped on 70. It's about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Ain't nobody on the interstate, really, but me. A blessing from God. Because it ain't funny, man. It really ain't funny. I'm laughing now, but it really ain't funny. About 11:30, 12 o'clock Friday morning, I had a front blowout. I'm grossing about 18, probably 19. No. I'm right at 20. I'm right at 20K. And since I had already had a few tire issues earlier, I wasn't driving 70 miles an hour in that 75. I wasn't driving 75 in that 75. I was riding 55 miles an hour in a 70 zone in the middle of the night on the interstate by myself. Front blowout. This truck hooked the left so hard, y'all. When I tell you, I went from the hammer lane, crossed two passing lanes, to the white line that got the shoulder on the left, brought it back. I'm just riding, doing 55, and all of a sudden, boom, left. 1.5 seconds, I had crossed 3 lanes and was on the way back across again. That when I take a moment and say, thank you, God. That don't always go like that. And I said, anybody was on the highway in any of them 2 lanes beside me, it would have been a problem. Y'all wouldn't have got this video today. It would have been a problem. So we thank God for the grace, you know what I'm saying, just take you through a lot of this stuff that you're going to see out here on the road. I'm glad I'm still here too, Ball Life, because when I tell you that thing puckered up, woo, boy, you think you got to change your draws. Run tell that. I'm talking for real, for real. Y'all know when I say that thing puckered up, boy, real tight. Boy, I'm talking, you ride just chilling in midnight and boom, and you cross 3 lanes and you catch it, you bring it back. All this on the rim though. Wait a minute now. Hold up. All this happened on the naked rim on the road. There ain't no cheap ass rim, nothing like that. But I think they skimp, or I really think they installed these tires wrong. It's not about the stretch. For y'all say that, it's not about the stretch. It's only half and a half. It's not about the stretch. It's how they installed them originally. They used the ether method, poured that stuff in there, boom, lit it on fire. And I noticed 3 of the tires, and I've had 3 blowouts. 3 of the tires, the ether was in the bead of the tire, and after the tire went boom and jumped on the rim, the ether sat there and burned, and they was fanning and fanning and fanning. It sat there and burned about 30 seconds. How many of y'all know that weakened the bead of that tire? How many of y'all know that the rubber that wraps around that bead of that tie is in layers and they just burn through some of them? I wasn't aware. Yeah, I was up coming across 70. I was in Warrenton County, Missouri. Rip Robert Young. I was in Warrenton County, in the city of Warrenton. That's where I was, and now I'm over here in Weston. You know where Weston is? That's where I'm at over here by Kansas City right now. By the grace of God, for real. I ain't gonna even lie, man. And like I said, when that occurred, front blow, I swang and bang, swang. All this on the rim now, naked ground rim. And then I pull over. I was like, man, I don't even got a spur now. I ain't even got a spur now. So get what? Now it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I know ain't a tire service in America that deal with big rigs got this tie, nor would they have had my factory tie. So you're stuck, basically. You're stuck. So I see an exit about 3/4 of a mile down the road. I drove the truck about 3 miles an hour, rolling. I'm boom, 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 boom. It's steady dropping on the rim, dropping on the rim. I hear it every once in a while, straight, straight, boom, 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 boom. I drove a mile and a half, almost a mile. I say almost a mile, and went up an exit ramp, went down the on ramp, and parked over to the side. Cause you always want to park on the on ramp. That's the side that's not gonna be the fastest side of the cloverleaf. The, the entrance ramp is gonna be people coming in and building up speed. The exit ramp gonna be people coming off the highway breaking down speed. So in the event that you get hit, you would much rather get hit by a car that's accelerating, passing through 30, 45 miles an hour than a car that's decelerating from 75 miles an hour. They might hit you at 65. You never know. So I go to the other side, park, I hunker down, drop my e-log on off duty, and went to sleep. Man, I ain't worried about none of this stuff. Cause the cushion right. When the cushion right, you can stand it. It'll bother you, you can stand it. So I get up in the morning, call me a Uber, and took one of the tire with me to the tire shop and got it mounted. I bought 2 right then. I brought that tire back via Uber later on, back and forth, back and forth. Put it on the truck, got in the truck, drove the truck to the shop, and bought 3 more tires. I don't want now one of them tires on here. I went on here and bought me some Yokohama, Big Dad. I don't care nothing about what man, no, don't never put that particular tire on my truck no more. And like I say, y'all know what a Yokohama is. Y'all know what a Yokohama is. A Yokohama, set of Yokohama break your cushion down a little bit if it ain't right. Had you seeing stars out here when they tell you, oh yeah, that's $1,885. Man, I get everybody that touched the tie back there a tip behind it, cause get what, y'all saved my life. Y'all just don't know. Cause when I got there, one more tire on the truck now. Yeah, man. Hold up. Let me just let y'all know it real. You? Hold on. Well, man, and including the tongue weight on that trailer and what's on that trailer, you divide that by 2 times. That rim right there had about 2,900 pounds. Drop on naked ground and keep driving on it, and then do number scratching. Shout out forged billet wheels. Forged billet wheels. They're not cast. They are forged. This is hammer forged. Wait a minute. Man, that man said if I don't spray, hold on, wait a minute. If I don't spray no WD-40 in it though, he coming down here. Wait a minute. No, hey, hold on, man. Hey, oh man, I love you, bro. I love you, bro. But like I said, man, there was a broker, different insurance type of video, and I eased off over here on the tax subject because I want y'all to be diligent with y'all pre-trips and y'all post-trips, especially for the first one coming out for the week. Get under that truck, man. Get under that truck. Cause this to happen with factory rims and tires. I'm telling y'all, it'll bubble up on the inside. You'll never see it. You look up under the truck, it's not that big. I had a video in Utah. Now, when I was coming from Canada and I had that backhoe on there, I had to change the tire on my truck before I put the backhoe on there because during my pre-trip that morning, I got on under there, looked up under there, there's a bubble in the tire that big. Factory rim and tire. Absolutely. I'm going to do a video on pre-trip. I actually started recording it already, man, because I'm going to bring it to you, but I want it to be real complete, and I'm going to have to probably break it down into 3 parts, because a real pre-trip, believe it or not, take about an hour. Take about an hour. 40 minutes at the most, 30, 40 minutes, that's 30, 40 minutes, that's a real pre-trip. You set pre-trip on the thing, and 6 minutes later, 5 minutes later, you click it, and you on about your way. You ain't really checked that truck. You ain't really checked that truck. You might have looked over it, but you ain't really checked that truck. So yeah, I'm gonna do a video on the pre-trip and everything like that. And I want y'all to be blessed. I want y'all to be diligent on the pre-trips. It can really save your life now. Because I caught a tie, man. Y'all go in the community and look at the community and look at the edge of that tie. That was on the front of my truck also. To a point where I had one front blow I sent me left. This front blow I probably would send me right. So hey, I ain't playing no game. I put 4 Yokohamas on here like it wasn't nothing. I ain't studying about it. All the stuff I got to do don't mean nothing if I ain't here to do it. I got all the bills in the world pending. Get what? I'm going to spend that money to stay here because I get the money to do whatever I need to do. But I got to be here to do it, y'all. I can't make no more videos and then I'm in the hospital in a coma or even worse. And I can't provide for my family no more. So, like I said, if you see a problem with your truck about any part, if it comes in pairs, buy 2 of them. If you got a bad hub on the front on the driver's side, buy a front and a passenger. Although it got the same amount of miles on it. If you see a problem with a couple of tires, and you know all these tires been on here the same amount of time, just buy a whole set. Ball life, ball style said, call me. I'm trying to see, did you send me a cash out for a 1-hour consultation? I'm trying to see, because somebody, I don't know who it was, y'all, and they might be on here. Somebody sent me $1 and they phone number, and I ain't just declined it because I'm like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they a little apprehensive. They think, man, I send the $40 and he ain't gonna call. I'm calling. I ain't with that. I ain't taking nothing from nobody. I ain't never stole nothing in my life. I done took some stuff, but I ain't never stole nothing from nobody. You know what I mean? So it's to the point where, like I said, somebody did. I'm not really sure who they are. They may be on the Styles. Oh, what's up, Style? I be forgetting about the ball life and the style, bro. Yeah, we do that, man. Shoot me a little lightweight, little something in the cash out. We crank up another one of them things, cause we had a real deep conversation the other night. This dude right here so smart, y'all. He on the business, like he really on the business. It's just you got to get acclimated to the trucking side of the business, and certain stuff he had been hearing for certain people, it really didn't apply to him. Some of it were wrong, but at the same time, just putting stuff in perspective, numbers, and what it really gonna cost, and how this really works, and everything. That's a boss life. You a smart guy, man, and he know his insurance game. Ooh, he know it. He fooled that real estate and everything. I'm gonna talk you up there, Style, cause boy, ain't often you call somebody that's so I say overwhelmingly qualified for certain stuff, but it is. What's up, bro? Glad I just caught you live. Lord, AJ, turn the HAT, baby. What's up with you, man? You kind of tardy for the party, baby. But hey, yeah, real talk about like, hey, boss style. It was cool, bro. It cool when you link up with people that what I'm saying, mentally, You know what I'm saying? Really ready. But like I say, you got to get the tools and the small things and some of the big things that just gonna help you be successful. And that's why I provide the consultation. But hey, boss, hey Styles, was that you sent me the dollar? I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm probably gonna end up just calling the number and see who it was and just let them know, hey man, I'm on the phone. You go ahead and drop them up 39. Yeah, I know Style. I ain't think that was you, but I just didn't know, bro. I really ain't checked the cash app no more. They happened yesterday. They sent $1. I was like, for what? I don't know. So, like I say, this has been a very, very, very good video as it pertains to what a surety bond is, the difference between that and insurance, who's really responsible when things go bad, what role the broker really play in all of this, and how you can actually